Oh, I'm in my shower again because I feel like it's the most private one. Although I think somebody can hear me from the drain, so I'm kind of nervous. But some of you were okay with me sharing what happened at work because I wanted to know what you guys think about it. So it was before I start, I have to point out this matters, okay? My manager, I have complained, or my supervisor, I have complained about her before. She likes to make me look stupid, and I will take it to a certain extent. Like, I know a lot of managers and people that are in that role for a long time start to think it's okay to do that, and it happens. But it can, once it goes too far, I start drawing a line. It's called boundaries. And if you think it's wrong, go talk to my therapist. So anyways, we were getting along. She kind of saw me as a child, like her kid. She would make jokes about me being her kid or whatever, and we would get along. Like, we were getting along pretty well. And she was going on vacation, and I was getting like a little anxious with her leaving because she tells me what to do, what to work on. And by the way, my supervisor is Russian, and most of the workers there are Russian. So everybody sticks to speaking in Russian, which I have no problem with. I think it's cool. Like, I would love to have people that spoke Spanish and I could talk in Spanish with them, you know? But the thing is, I don't understand a lot of them, like most of the time, but it doesn't matter. I don't care what they're talking about. It's none of my business. My supervisor would talk to me in English when she needed me to do something, The lady I worked across from, we worked on the same project. She had project side 1 and I had project side 2, but it was the same thing. She only speaks Russian. So, but our supervisor would translate. But she was leaving, so I was kind of nervous about that. She's going on vacation, and she gave me her phone number to message her when something was wrong, so that made me feel better. So she was going to be gone for 2 weeks, right? And when she did leave, she left the oldest lady there in charge. She left her in charge of like telling me and the other lady what to do and what's next, which honestly worked out perfectly fine. So she would message me pictures of her trip, like pictures of dolphins, because she went to Florida, right? So I was like, oh, that's cute. I hope you're having a nice time. Just like, we were friendly, like we were getting really along. I decided at this time to, I don't know, I felt like I was really not making enough money. I've been here for a year, and I'm still making $15 an hour. $15 an hour. And I came in this place with 4 years of experience from a different warehouse. So I think I deserve to be paid more. And not only that, like, I work with people that don't even speak English to me, so it's kind of hard to like blend in, but I do it really well. Like, I honestly do. Like, I try to learn a little bit, but я не понимаю по-русски, Like, I don't know. If you're Russian, please let me know. Does that sound weird? I don't know. They thought it was hilarious when I tried, but I try to like blend in and kind of get along with everybody. So I talked to my siblings about it, and after a long time, they kind of convinced me to go ask for a raise, which I've never done in my life, and I'm very uncomfortable with doing something like that. I hate asking for things, always hated it. I just feel like I don't deserve anything, but that's just, if I never get out of that mentality, I'll always get very little. So, oh my god, my eyebrows are so dark. Why didn't you guys tell me? Just kidding. Okay, so my siblings, my sister and my brother told me how to say it professionally, and I wrote it down. And my sister told me her experience as a woman asking for a raise. So the whole night I studied what my brother said, what my sister had told me, and I was very nervous, but I had to do it. it was something I had to do. I'm the oldest of all my siblings, so it's kind of awkward that like they're kind of like older in experience because I've been so like, you know, I just feel uncomfortable stepping out of my bubble because I've always felt like I have bad luck, which is not a good way to look at things. So, anyways, I was studying, practicing, super nervous, and the next day comes, and I'm like, oh my god. Oh, by the way, my supervisor, was 2 days before she came back, right? So then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tell the lady that's in charge of us if I can go talk to the manager. Let's call him Humpty Dumpty. That's mean. Originally, Humpty Dumpty was a cannon, so he was a weapon, and this guy was a good person, but he was used to do a lot of the dirty work for the higher managers, and that's why I made him the symbol of Humpty Dumpty. Although I don't blame my story's Humpty Dumpty for what he did, I blame him more for what he didn't do. To talk to Humpty Dumpty. And I told him I've been looking at other warehouse jobs, and they all start off at a higher wage than I've been getting here. At least $3. They all start off. And I think it's time for a wage adjustment. By the way, I was stuttering and super nervous. I think I made him uncomfortable because he was like, yeah, I'll look into it. Don't worry about it. So I left. And I was finally feeling better, right? Days pass. My supervisor comes back. She hugs me. She's so happy to be back. And I'm happy she's back too because we're friends, right? So, everything starts going back to normal. And the Humpty Dumpty doesn't come talk to me. And from hearing around, people have been asking for a raise. And they didn't get it. In fact, nobody ever came back to them about it. So I'm like, okay, I guess it's just going to be ignored, especially me, because I'm a very quiet person, So I'm like, oh, okay. So a week passes, and then half a week passes, and on a Thursday, it's like 100 degrees outside, and in the building, it's like 10 degrees hotter because of the machinery. And there's not a lot of workers in there because it's so hot, right? They refuse to come. So I'm falling asleep because it's so hot in there. And I feel like I'm being poisoned just in there, like, and then I realize it's not worth it. Like, it really isn't worth it. So my sister has told me this before, dude, if it's too hot, get out. Because she was friends with some people there, and they would complain, and they would leave. Like, they would always leave, and my sister's like, why aren't you leaving? Like, it's it's too hard to breathe in there. Just leave. But I wouldn't do it until today. I'm like, you know what? It's not worth it. They don't even really consider me. I'm just gonna go. So I talked to my supervisor. I'm like, hey, it's too hot in here. And I think I'm gonna go home. I can't do this anymore. And she didn't really hear me because I talk too low. I talk very low. That's probably why I should be using this from the beginning. I can't help it. I've always been a very quiet person, So she makes me repeat myself, and it's like, hey, I have to go. And she looks down and looks annoyed. And I don't blame her. And I'm like, I'm sorry, it's just really not worth it being here anymore right now because it's 110 degrees in here. And it feels like I'm suffocating. And she says, oh, it's okay. Can you finish your project? And I'm like, yes, I'll finish it because I was almost done with it. So I finish it, I turn it, I put it away, and then I sweep my area you're supposed to clean after. I said, I'm so sorry, don't be mad at me. Dumpty comes looking for me about paying me more. Please tell him I went home because it's too hot here. And she says, okay. And I'm like, I mean, sometimes I feel like sometimes you have to do this in order to be understood, And she says, yeah, you do. Like, she agreed with me. Like, sometimes you have to, like, be a little more picky, Don't work so hard because people will take advantage, and it's your default setting to be taken advantage, if that makes sense. So I leave, right? And the next day I come in. It's a Friday. And it's not bad anymore. It's like 80. It's still hot, don't get me wrong, but it's not 110 degrees hot, okay? So more people showed up, we're working, and then my supervisor says, hey, they want to go talk to you, Humpty Dumpty, and let's name the other guy, Pinocchio. Because he's not a real boy. No, I'm just kidding. He's not a real gentleman. I'm kidding. I'm being such an asshole. Okay, so I'm like, okay, and she looks happy. My supervisor, she looks really happy for me. And I'm like, oh. She did tell me that they came up to her to talk to her about, what I said, me mentioning that. So I'm like, oh, okay, she's happy for me. So I go up, she leads me upstairs. She shows me where to go. And then I go in, and all of a sudden I feel really uncomfortable because they're both sitting together and they have a chair pulled up like the opposite side where I'm supposed to sit on my own. So I go and sit down. And I go back in smiling, like happy, like, oh, like, good news. And they look at me like angry, offended almost. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Oh, I sit down. I'm like, why do they both have to be in here? Like, I don't understand. Then he says, let's pull up your year review, your employee review, so we can talk about this. And he pulls it up. Guys, this is not me, this year review. It really isn't me. Like, it had my name on it, but I got, like, they scored me, and I basically, 2 things I'm really good at: communication. I got a 3 out of 5, and dependability. I got a 3 out of 5, I think, or lower. And then I'm pretty sure in other ones it was lower too. So I'm like, weird, because I'm very consistent. I come to work. I have a guilt, like extreme guilt of not coming into work. Even just leaving on that really hot day, I felt guilty. I rarely ask for days off, and I get really nervous to do it. So it was really weird for them to do that. So they say, you did yesterday, the Thursday, remember the really hot day? They're like, you left. So that's why you have, because I asked them, why do I have such a low score on dependability and communication? They said, yesterday you left very angry. And I was like, angry? It's like, you left very angry and you caused a scene. This is what Pinocchio said. And I was like, how would they know? Like, if I even did that? Because it's not true. Like, I even apologized to my supervisor. And then he said, yeah, so that's why you're not very dependable. And also, we talked to your supervisor, and you're not the fastest worker. It's true, I'm not the fastest worker. And I said that to them. I'm not the fastest worker. But the thing is, I'm being compared to people that have worked there for 13 years. 13 years. And the lady across from me, who has not been working that long, she's really fast because she's constantly missing pieces, but she never gets called on. I get called out because my manager has an extreme bias. Like, she has a protective thing towards her Russian people. She's not going to call on them and make them feel stupid in front of everybody. She only does that with people that she's not connected to, which is me. And I know it's true because I saw it. Like, she called me out, and when I went to fix my pieces missing, I looked at the other side 1, which is the girl across from me. She was also missing pieces, and I didn't fix it because I wanted to see if she would call her out. She never called her out. She fixed it herself. So I get the protectiveness because it's your people, but, make the others feel like shit, that's weird. So, okay, here's the thing. With this review, I already knew it was going to be bullshit when they started off like that. I already know it was going to be bullshit and messed up. And I know, as a woman, growing up being talked down towards by men, specifically, I know there's no winning when it's 2 against 1, especially if both of them are managers, that want their way. So I'm like, there's no way around it. I'm gonna just let them explain to me what I did wrong according to them, and not throw anybody under the bus that isn't there to defend themselves. You know what I mean? Like, if I have to say something, it has to be about those 2 and not my supervisor who isn't there. or anybody involved, right? So I did not mention the girl that I work with who misses pieces. I didn't mention her. I did not mention my supervisor and how biased she is. There was no point. So I asked him, you know what I should have done? I should have called her to come in with us so we could, so she could tell me to my face what she told them. Because, by the way, the whole review was in her words. I know it was her who threw me under the bus because she had the chance and she took it. Every chance she would get to make me feel stupid, she would take it in front of a lot of people out there. And I would always correct her privately. Like, I would always tell her that, no, I don't deserve to be looked at stupid because, look, this is why I'm confused. And I would show her. So she definitely did this. So here's the thing. The bundles I do, they're a bunch of rubber pieces. 25 long pieces tied together. Almost every time it's 25, right? They have holes. We're in charge of putting parts in the holes that go to that project. You have to untie them, hang them, untie them, grab one piece, put the compartments in. I don't do that. I leave it tied. I do half of one completely. I work on that one. Then I flip it and do the other side, right? My supervisor is one of those people that wants it done her way because her way is the only way to do everything, right? Everybody's complained about that because she thinks it's only her way. And my way, like the way I did it, she told them that she doesn't listen to me. She doesn't do it the right way. So he confronted me. Pinocchio did. He's like, you don't do it the way she wants you to do it. And I said, it's because it's faster when I do it the way I do it. And he's like, so you're trying to tell me, and he had that tone, so you're trying to tell me the people have been working here for years, their way is wrong and your way is the best way. And I said, no. So it just started to feel like he was trying to make me the bad guy, and instead of defending myself, I started trying to just defuse the whole situation. I did not say that. Their way has worked and does work, but this way just works for me personally. But don't worry, I'll from now on do it her way, and I'll get fast at it. And he didn't know what to say to that because I was, agreeing with following directions. It's just that you guys want me to do it faster, right? So he says, okay, he got interested and asked me how I did it. I explained to him, and I told him, he asked me then, how much faster do you finish? And I said 10 minutes faster. And he said, how would you know that? So I told him because I got this watch and I'm obsessed with timing myself. And I would time myself with it because you have a spot where you can time yourself. And I noticed I was finishing faster. And he looked impressed, but he didn't want to show it. He wanted to hide it, and he didn't want to talk about it anymore. And I'm like, but don't worry, I'll do it her way. It's no problem. It's okay. I'll get fast at it, because there's no way of winning. There isn't. Like, I knew it. At first, I was fighting it. I'm like, how am I bad at communicating? And he said, because you told your supervisor that you're leaving because you're not getting paid more. And I said, no, I told her it wasn't worth to be in 110 degrees weather when I'm only getting $15 an hour, and that if Humpty Dumpty wants to come talk to me about it, he can see me tomorrow. That's why I told her that. And he said, your supervisor can't do anything about that. You're supposed to talk to us. I'm like, and I look at Humpty Dumpty, and he says, she did talk to me. So I'm like, so who's really, I didn't say this to them, but I was like, who's really failing in communication here? Like, who deserves that 3 out of 5 or 2 out of 5 in communication? But I didn't say that because, again, it's 1 against 2. There's no winning. Like, I'm not going to win, Asking for an explanation to my bad scores was confusing them enough. When I asked him why I got such low scores, he acted like it was an attack on him, which I really did just want to know why I got such low scores. And when I asked him, okay, other than that, because there was nothing he could say about communication. Like, other than that, What other thing have I failed in communication? And he said, well, people can get distracted and start talking too much among each other. And I was like, okay, but I don't really talk. I'm a very quiet person. He's like, yeah, but you never know. And he went off on that. I'm like, I really don't get what this has to do with me in my head. I'm like, I should have recorded it. I had a feeling this was going to go bad. I should have recorded it on my phone. But that might be illegal. Yeah, it is probably. But it would have helped me later on for my peace of mind, because I felt crazy. Like, I could not believe they were doing this. The worst part was when they said, you caused a scene. That's why you're not dependable. That's why I had a low score, because you caused a scene. You got mad at her, you yelled, and you walked out. I'm like, I never yelled. I'm a very quiet person. And he knew that I am. Like, he didn't know what to do. Like, he didn't know what to say. And by the way, when I was saying this stuff, I was very nervous. I was stuttering because I'm not a loud person. I'm very uncomfortable with, confronting people that think they're so much better than me, that think I don't deserve, even to talk about a raise, because this is what they were doing. They were making me feel like I didn't even deserve to be making what I already was. How dare I even ask for anything? And he went on for a while in a circle again, and it just sucked. Like, I knew it was over for me, because this was no longer about a raise. It was about not being valued. If I would have came in there and they would have been like, you know what, you've been here a year, you deserve at least something, but right now we're not doing so good in the company. Could you wait 30 days before we give you a raise? I would have been like, I definitely understand. Yes. But the thing is, they try to use my one bad day as a review of my whole year there, so they can use that as an excuse to not give me a cent more. And not only that, they exaggerated that bad day, because I did not yell. I even apologized to my supervisor. I cleaned my area. I even told him I cleaned my area. If I was storming and causing a scene, you really think I would clean my area and finish my project? And they would just look at each other. And he would laugh. Like, when I'd stutter, he would laugh at me. I was trying so hard not to burst out crying, because I hate crying in front of toxic men. Especially because, like, oh, look, there you go, being a girl, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm not gonna cry in front of them. But holy shit, it was so uncomfortable, especially when he kept laughing in my face. I asked him, what do you define making a scene? When I told him I'm a quiet person, he kind of like shut down and like realized, she is a quiet person. I can't really say she yelled when I don't really know. So I'm like, what do you define as, because like I didn't yell, so what do you define causing a scene, since I know I didn't yell? He said, storming off. I'm like, how could you storm off after finishing a project and cleaning your area? And he didn't have an answer. It was just so uncomfortable. So I got up, right? And I'm like, okay, well, if that's it, then okay. I'm like, I'm just going to take a quick screenshot of this, and so I can have the employee review, to summarize so I can improve. But really, no, I wanted to look at it a little. So I took a screenshot of the review, and I'm like, okay, well, bye guys. And I leave, right? I get out and I'm going down. I go outside to my car and I tell my siblings what had happened. I send them my employee review. Everybody there, like my sibling chat, they all know that I like to work. Like in labor jobs, I like hard work. I feel my self-worth grow the harder I work. So they knew I didn't deserve that. So my little brother's like, leave, get out of there. There's no point. And that's when I burst out crying in my car, because it's like, I thought they cared, like I thought I mattered. I thought I was worth, at least not being basically told that I was the one who freaked out and left and was a toxic one. And I also thought my supervisor was my friend, she was sending me pictures of her trip, hugging me, calling me her child, but behind my back she went and told them I was doing everything wrong. I was the slowest worker. I left angry, stormed off. I was mind blown. How could somebody give you a hug and quickly run off to tell them I didn't deserve not even a few cents? It's not like it was coming out of her. Like, she really didn't want to see me grow, like, get better, or like, you know, if she really wanted me to improve, she could have told them I deserved it, and then later told me, hey, I put in a good word for them, so can you please come on, be faster, you know, or something. But no, she really didn't have my back. And I don't know, it's like maybe she wanted my spot for somebody, like, you know, somebody she liked better for that spot. But it was just, it really did mess with me, because like, how do you trust anybody now if they're all acting to be like your friend or whatever. It's funny because I could see, like, I couldn't go back in the building because I was crying. I felt so betrayed. So I just messaged her. You know, it was a line of cute messages. Her like, look at these dolphins. Oh my God, I miss everybody there, and you too. And then all of a sudden I tell her I quit, and she says, oh, and then K. Like, we're strangers now. And then she says, I appreciate your help. Because she knew what she did, you know? So now all of a sudden we're professional here. Because we weren't pretending to be friends. You were, you know? Like, it's just, and now you're pretending we were professional this whole time. And it was weird because I should have seen it coming, because she was very, like, mocking. Like, she would mock people a lot. Even the older lady told her to knock it off when she would mock me for no reason. And I thought it was like, you know, like maybe she doesn't understand cues properly. But no, because the other lady she spoke less English, and she understood the mocking. Like, she knew she was doing that and it was wrong. So I don't understand why she was like that. And I do have, you know, like, this did happen a week ago. So I did go to other interviews. I already have 2 jobs that pay at least $3 more than that job did off the beginning. But it's sad to see how people really don't value you and really don't care and will throw you under the bus. And, you know, that's it. That's all you get. It's really sad, you know? I don't know, like, it's just disappointing. And I believed it too. But it's good to learn from this that even people that are above you, will knock you down lower to keep you there, because they really think if you win, they lose. Like, it's not like, aren't we not a team? I don't get it. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'll put my review on here so you guys can see it. So there you go. I think I could have done better, you know, like I really, but it's really hard when everything you do could be considered going crazy or, you know, causing a scene, when all I want is to stand up for myself. People really confuse standing up for yourself as acting crazy and causing a scene. But it's okay. It's better to know now than never, you know. Well, thanks for listening if you made it this far, and let me know if you've been through anything like this, or if you're going through it right now. Bye.